Hey guys, today I want to show you the changes which went live with 3.4 to 6.1 Harbinger, and I'm also going to show you how to play differently according to the changes. People suggested me doing a completely new guide, but in truth, there's not that much difference from 3.3 Harbinger, and I would be repeating a lot of the stuff that I've already done in the other guides, and I think it's better just to quickly go over the changes and like assume you have knowledge of Harbinger, which most of you will be watching this video. Okay, so the soul tree, I'll go over the differences that have gone live. So Imperium Ascension is now 40% damage, so it's going to be very meaningful burst. So that's just a flat buff, it doesn't really change how we play. Storm Shroud, when you use Storm Shroud, it's going to make your next 3 abilities crit. It also now has a 30-second cooldown, down from 1 minute. This is quite an important ability, and we're going to be using it with Imperium Ascension, and then after we've used it with Imperium Ascension, we always use it on cooldown, and always line it up with Imperium Ascension. We don't save it to line it up with other abilities, we always use it on cooldown. The reason for this is that we're going to it will go out of sync, and it will never be used at the right times if we try and save it. Rending Slash is now an 8% flat damage taken debuff, and it only has 1 stack. So it's a slight change in total output with the damage taken, but it means we have much better target switching, which is quite a nice change. There have also been some talent nerfs, so Living Charge is now 8%, the Vorpal Edge crit chance is now 6%, and I believe there was a few others, but I can't remember them off the top of my head. So how am I adjusting the build for this patch? I'm now using Arcane Manipulation. The reason for this is that I feel with Imperium Ascension, I can make Arcane Manipulation always line up really well with Imperium Ascension and raid cooldowns, and it also, I can use it in conjunction with Storm Shroud, and I just feel it plays a lot better. In terms of raw DPS, and which one's better, Ethereal Blast or Arcane Manipulation, they're both good. I haven't seen myself any evidence of one being significantly better than the others, so I'd put it down to personal preference. If you really want to use Ethereal Blast, you should, because it's still a good spell. Now, something that I've also changed the build is Living Storm. I've taken a point out of Cyclogenesis and placed it in Living Storm. The reason for this is when I'm using Arcane Manipulation, I will have a charge deficit, so I will have to try and regain charge. And this is where Living Storm becomes a very strong spell, is because it gains you charge, and it's significantly stronger than a Rending Slash without Charge Blade, which you would use to try and gain back charge. And with this spell, you will always have enough charge, and you won't have to waste it. And also with Versajoy, you'll be able to get in a few icicles, which won't punish you. So that's what's different. That's what I've changed with the build. So let's talk about how we actually play it then. So the first off, you'll see a macro in the description. I've put macroed Arcane Manipulation with Storm Shroud. Now the reason for this is that we're pretty much always going to be using them at the same time. So to save a keybind, I've just whacked them together. And so when we have these up and we want to use it, you just double tap it and you'll be good to go to use those cooldowns. With the changes, there's a slight change to the opener. So how we're going to do this is that we're going to start with Piercing Beam, and then 1 Rending Slash, and then we're going to follow up with Blazing Light, and then we're going to go Imperium Ascension. Once we hit Imperium Ascension, we do the normal first Hailstorm, if we have a proc, and then we're going to go Storm Shroud and Arcane Manipulation using that crafty macro we have, which we'll double tap, and then we'll go into our spam macro twice, which will be Vorpal Slash and Storm Fury. And then if we have a proc, we use the proc, and now we'll cast Lightning Strike. And if we don't have a proc, we use Tempest Winds. I'll show you on the dummy now. So I'm going to start off with Phantom Blades to give me the range. So here we go. Okay, and then we finish that off with Tempest Winds, and then we just go into our normal rotation. Remember, don't use Living Storm. Sorry, I did not remember. I didn't even mention it in the first place. Don't use Living Storm during EA, because that's just not a good idea. But start using it once you go outside of EA. Alright? So that's really what's different about 3.4 Harbinger. As you can see, there's not much. Something that I should mention that will help you with dummy passing, seeing that Storm Shroud is a stealth ability, you can actually summon a pet from Elementalist, so the lesser earth elemental, and just set it to attack while you're dummy passing. This will keep you in combat with your dummy, and when you go into stealth, it won't make the dummy reset and lose all your debuffs. So this will allow you to pass indefinitely and practice Storm Shroud outside of fights, which is really fucking helpful. Okay? So that pretty much sums up the video. I don't think I've forgotten anything, but I'm also going to be uploading 2 of the passes, which I did, one from Medantix and one on Sikaron, for you to see me playing this spec in action. They're from the raid which I did yesterday, which was Wednesday, patch day. So they're not perfect because I'm still kind of getting used to the new different playstyle of Harbinger, but they still might be helpful if you want to see it in action. And again, if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them. And if you like this video, please like it, and if you want to follow my channel, please subscribe. See you guys.